Jeff Bezos, of course, left Seattle. And according to a report in Forbes, by leaving Washington State and avoiding the capital gains tax, and not even just that, he was able to save nearly $1 billion. He went from Washington to Florida, saving $1 billion. Now, some of that is because Florida, unlike Washington State, allows people to keep money that they earned. Also, a part of that is that we had a capital gains tax that a lot of rich people decided smartly that they didn't want to have to pay. They say he unloaded 12 million shares of Amazon stock on top of all of this. You'll recall that. The sale won't be completed until January 31st. The reason why that matters is because, again, if he was in this state when he did that, he would have had to pay an obscene amount of taxes on that alone. So now he finds himself in a position where, like so many others, he made a decision that was best for him financially. There were some other reasons, obviously, to move to Florida. But someone like Jeff Bezos is wise enough to not want to give the money to, especially the Washington State legislature, to misuse. Because that's precisely what it is they would do. And that's what's so especially insulting here. It's especially insulting. Because they don't have a revenue problem in Olympia. There is no revenue problem. We've hit record revenue coming into the state. And yet somehow we find ourselves in a $13 billion deficit hole. How is that possible? It's because they don't know how to spend. They have all of these ideas. They keep looking at the wealthy as an endless bank account, a blank check, and they spend more and more and more and more. And they have the audacity to go to people who have actually earned their funds, their money, and said, we want more of that simply because you've earned it. Give it to us and we're going to misspend it. How dare they? How dare they? And yet, that's precisely what it is they're doing. While as much as they are pretending to not be in favor of an income tax, they clearly have been laying the groundwork for an inevitable income tax. A wealth tax is, of course, an income tax. How did you get your wealth? Via your income?
It's usually how it's done.
Okay, just making sure. Now, remind me the constitutionality of an income tax in Washington?
It's against the Constitution.
How are they going to come up with a workaround at the Supreme Court? Are they going to call that an excise tax?
With this court, it might work.
It's absolute madness. It's absolute madness. And you've got Jay Inslee there announcing his intention to push Democrats to go for a worldwide or global wealth tax, which simply means, I'm presuming, because there's no actual plan that's been written and proposed yet, but I'm presuming it means exactly what it says, worldwide wealth. If you have your wealth overseas or in any other state than Washington, you still have to pay taxes on that, so long as it's more than $100 million of value or net worth. And I'm presuming this will include taxes on unrealized gains. I'm assuming this is properties that you have outside of Washington that they're going to try to take money from you. It is clearly illegal. It is clearly unconstitutional, and yet they're going to move forward with it anyway. And it was funny, I was reading a report coming from the state of Washington saying on the idea of implementing a wealth tax, they're like, how are we supposed to do that? Even the state is saying we can't do it, but they're going to try to anyway. What does that tell you? It should tell you that these people are hungry for more power and completely irresponsible. And you know what? Here's the reality. I don't blame them for holding the view that they should move forward and collect even more taxes. I don't blame them because that's what the voters are essentially telling them by putting these people back in office. I don't buy the whole initiative vote is the reason why voters are okay with this. I view them putting these people into positions of power over and over and over again as the clear sign that they are okay with the crazy. And if you are put in these positions over and over and over again, despite all of the crazy, can you truly blame them for wanting to move forward and get even crazier? Seriously, can you actually blame them? You can call out the bad ideas, but can you blame them for thinking that they can get away with it when they always get away with it?